Psychedelics can be very peculiar. This is a story about a psychedelic experience I had as a teenager, and not at all something that should be expected from psychedelics or really something that you should note as even a possibility. I've taken psychedelics hundreds of times since this experience. Before this experience, I had taken psychedelics many times, and I hadn't had anything like this ever happen to me before or since then. So, take this story with a grain of salt, and also be aware that I was a teenager and I was young and my brain was just in a different place. I was more imaginative. I just had more things going on in my head. It was just a little bit different. When I really started to feel the psychedelic, when it really hit me, I remember coming up a little bit and kind of feeling like an initial come-up experience, but then it pretty much all at once hit. And what I remember experiencing was being able to see through my eyes, but where your peripheral vision starts, my peripheral vision kind of ended, and what started was just skin. And the skin connected from the edge of my face, and it continued out in every direction. But I was able to actually see behind the skin, like my eyes were able to see a little bit behind the peripheral, and on the back side of the skin was like a wall, and I could almost feel it, but it was like blood and guts and internal organs, and then on top of all the organs was a thin layer of needles, metal needles, all crisscrossing at angles, and they were compressing like springs holding the skin forward. And I could feel the needles kind of pushing up around the skin, and I could feel certain places where the skin was like getting pulled or like getting stuck on certain pieces of metal. I was in a group of people, and throughout the escalation of my psychedelic experience, I kind of intimidated and unnerved the people that I was with. So the people, because they were all tripping too, decided that it was best to just leave me be. And they all left, and so I'm there by myself, and I remember wandering through the house a lot, and then I just kind of launch into, it feels like memories. These feel like memories that are coming to me in the psychedelic trip. They're not memories that I remember, and they're not things that have ever happened to me, but they're memories that are coming into my head, and as the memories come into my head, I'm feeling them and experiencing them in full color, and I'm hearing sounds from the memories. I mean, it is not just a visual experience. It's a visual, auditory, I can feel temperature changes, everything. The memories are coming, and the first memory I remember is this feeling of being in a home and just this shelter, and I'm in this house, and I don't want to color in the images of the details too much, but what it felt like to me was that the house was very primitive. It may have been made out of mud and bricks or something, but it had a very earthen vibe. And I was in this home, and I had this connection to my family. And then another memory comes up, and I can't remember if these memories are in order, as they're coming into the psychedelic experience. They seem to be all a cohesive story. So there's a story that I'm experiencing in individual memories that are not coming into my experience in order. They're spaced out, or they're mixed up. So the first memory is living in this house, in this home, and I can't see anyone's faces ever. I can never see anyone's faces, but I can feel their energy and I can feel their warmth around me. The next memory has something to do with this really intense uprising or some sort of anti-government situation. In my mind, it felt as if it was a medieval era and there was some king or something, and there was an uprising against this king. We were in a condition there was other people in the trip in these moments, but I couldn't see their faces. My family was in an impoverished situation, and there was something really deep within my heart that I felt like I needed to do something. More memories keep coming. I feel moments of challenge and heartbreak and all of these things, songs, from life, every single feeling that you could feel in life comes through in these memories. And it's not like I'm living this person's whole life. I'm only living the most vivid moments from this person's life. I'm experiencing like the deepest, most powerful, intense things that they've ever felt. And I'm just experiencing them one after another, stacked on top of each other in these memories that are like coming so quick that they're coming faster and faster, and they're overwhelming. And I'm still slightly in my body, so I know like where I am kind of, but I'm just getting forced these visual, like color explosions of things. And I remember falling in love in one of these memories, and I remember just this deep experience of like commitment and like feeling love. And like I was a teenager at this point, and I had never experienced anything, you know, really romantic or deeply romantic at this point. But these were like adult deep emotions about like falling in love. And I remember this visual of like me and this other person, and we're in this place, and there's like bright trees and green colors, and I remember like birds singing. I remember birds singing in this memory. What is so strange about this experience is that although the psychedelic trip ended, these memories are still very clear to me in a weird way. Like, I know that they were experienced in a psychedelic trip. Like, I know that they aren't real memories, but I can still remember like so much color, so much emotion. They're honestly some of the most emotional memories that I have, and they were memories that were not mine, that were induced through a psychedelic experience. It's pretty much most of it, but we'll just run over the ending really quick because it's the hardest part for me. As all of these memories come to a conclusion, it seems that they're leading to a place, and that place is death. All of the memories spiral back into a moment. And the moment is a wooden box with metal hinges. And I'm in my room at this point, but I remember seeing a door, like a door to a dungeon in the side of my wall. And I could see the brick instead of the usual wall that was there. It kind of bled out at one point, so it wasn't fully there, but it was like imposed in the room. And the dungeon door slams shut, and that was the first face or movement that I feel in the whole experience. I don't see their face, but I feel them in a way that I have not felt any person up to this point. They walk out, they slam the door behind me, and I just feel this doom, this deep knowing. The room closes in around me, and I'm no longer in my bedroom. I'm in the dungeon, but it's so dark. I can feel it and I can smell it. And then this voice starts to manifest, and it goes, it sounds like someone's trying to get something out of their throat, and it's stuck in their throat, and it's right behind my head, and it's like breathing down my neck, and I can hear it just making that noise over and over again. And the room is no longer a room. It is long, 8 to 10 inch metal spikes on all sides, slightly curved. Some of them are flat and some of them are pointed, but all of them are sharp, and they're on all sides. There is no way out. And the blades and the needles and the walls around me close in until they are right up against my skin, and there is nothing else I can do or feel at all. It is just needles in my face and in my eyes and around my entire body, and then the needles start to penetrate my skin, and I feel it. I feel it very fucking viscerally. It is a horrible feeling, and it lasts for a moment. That weird voice. It almost sounds like it's trying to get words out, but it can't. It's like almost like its voice box has been fucking removed. It's just this like deflating bag of air. I remember seeing this light through the window that was a reflection of the moon on a steel roof, tin roof on the neighbor's house. And I remember watching the sky change, and it felt like 1,000 years. I felt like I watched the sun rise and the moon rise, and all these things happen, and I just watched that little reflection on the steel tin roof, and it stayed exactly the same while the world changed and everything moved. And it just kept moving until I was there sitting in my couch. And I remember coming down rather quickly. I remember sitting there and just knowing I was there again. Thank you.